All right, this is part two. Here we go. New Clubhouse Plus, $4.99. That's $4.99 a month, or $49.99, which is $49.99 a year. Are you going to join or not? That's the question of the day. And we're going to talk about this today a little differently because last time when I was here, I actually had a room and people came into the room. We had a really good time yesterday, and I asked, do people want to have this room again today? And they said yes. So I said, okay, if we're going to have this room again and we want to test out the algorithm and also see how things are working, then why not bring the conversation back to Clubhouse and talk about it again for those who have probably not used it? So give me a second and I shall be back. All right, here we go. So, welcome to the room, and I'm glad that you are here today to learn about some new things, some new features, some new items, some new things that you can, think about as a business and ask yourself, okay, what are we really doing today? And how are we making this a possibility for you as a business, as an owner, as somebody who's running something that is of value? Using Clubhouse is one great place to be, but you also want to make sure that you're not confused about where you're spending time on. And Clubhouse is one place that you can either spend a lot of time and or you can invest a lot of time. It depends on how you want to spend or invest your time. And now we have an opportunity for you to be in the Plus account where you can really talk about these topics and ask yourself, hey, are we going to be doing this? And how long are we going to be doing this? If we're going to do this, then are we even excited about what's happening? Because Clubhouse is changing right before our eyes. It's happening, and I'm seeing it myself. It's actually something that is very exciting to see because I'm noticing that people are connecting. They're checking out profiles, they're tapping in. They may just be curious. They might be questioning. They might be just want to say hello. You never know. So this is a platform that you do not want to ignore or just leave hanging, because this is one place that Clubhouse has definitely changed the way I connect with people on the app, off the app. And I feel like this is something that you can also do too as a business if you want to do this correctly. So if you're listening, if you love what I'm talking about, and if you're here to learn about what's going on, I actually created an article. I created an article this morning around 12 a.m., 12:15 a.m., and I published this article. This article is out. It's on the search engines. I optimize it for SEO, and I don't mean just like putting keywords and pictures. I actually made sure that it's trackable, it's indexable, there's schema, markup language. These are things that can really help you get to the top of that search and do it in a very fast way. What's up, Empress? Glad you're here. Hopefully everyone in here is hydrated and safely travel. Yes, hopefully you guys are too. Thank you so much for that insight. And also you're a Plus member, and we'd love to hear how you're finding the app, because not everyone is using it. Not everybody's using the app. Or maybe they're not sure if it's gonna be a change in their lives. We don't know what's gonna happen. But Empress, how you been, and how you feeling about this new app?
Well, I'm well, thank you. Hopefully you are as well. Um, the the incognito feature, the ghost feature, I don't care much for it. So I went into a few rooms, but you can't type in the chat, so it didn't mean anything to me. What I love is the links ability. and that's why I probably will keep it, is the linkability. And I do also love the fact that we have multiple pictures now. So clients can be able to look at some of the pictures from my most recent group trip. So for a business standpoint, I think that everything else except the incognito part is excellent.
I'm wondering what people will use that incognito for. That's the one use case I'm really excited to see because it's happened. People do it just maybe because they're probably working or they don't want to be noticed or they're trying to go into a room that they know if they somebody knows they're in that room, then that's a problem for whatever the reason may be. Some people have crazy rooms at night. So I don't know what people have used it for in the last 48 hours, close to 48 hours, because this was just yesterday that this happened around this time. So it's very new, and I've used it myself to walk in anonymously to see what's going on. And I was in a room that people knew me, but they didn't see me. And I was like, this is interesting. It's actually fascinating to see that. But at the same time, I don't think I would use it myself because people naturally go in with their profile. So if you're gonna kind of adapt to a new way of joining a room without being known or seen, then that's going to take a lot of practice because you have to actually remember to turn it on so you can go in. So I don't know. Let's see how this goes. But thank you so much for that, Empress. And I love that feedback as well. Dr. Fashion, how are you? Hope you're good. What you thinking about this whole story about the app going plus? Dr. Fashion might be making some content or might be away from her phone. So please let me know. You see, she might be having some content. So she's actually let us know as well. But it's such a great time that we're in today. And if you're not using Clubhouse Pro or Plus, try it out. Nobody's forcing you to do it, but it's something that I believe if you test out, you might also notice a change in how you communicate here. And I'm also noticing like you can see the people that view your profile, which to me is very important. And it reminds me of LinkedIn. Yes, that's the word. It reminds me of LinkedIn. And when I think about LinkedIn and how people view your profile, a lot of people don't do anything after that happens, right? Because like, oh, somebody viewed my profile. Okay, cool story. But you don't know that the person who viewed your story or viewed your profile actually was interested because somebody told them about you or somebody said something in a room or you just happened to show up on their feed and now they're interested in what you said or what you do. And then, like you said, Empress, the links are there. You have up to 8 links on Clubhouse. I think Clubhouse has been very generous. To give you 8 links is interesting. Like right now, if you click on my profile and you look at the links, it says and 6 more. So I have about one more left to fill in the gap. But the links you see there's my website. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, there's my podcast. If you want to join the podcast training program and join the wait list, and you're seriously interested in scaling a podcast from scratch to the top of the search, I mean to the top of Apple, to the top of Alexa, to the top of Siri, you want to do it seriously and join that training, join the wait list. The link is available. If you want to just read and check out the news feed on marketing news, there's a link there for you. If you want to be featured on my podcast called We Don't Play, there's a link there. So I've made it very easy. So once you click that link, if you want to be on the podcast show, you can click on it. Today I had an interview with somebody. He's all the way in Los Angeles. Great guy. And we connected. He has about close to 24,000 connections on LinkedIn. And we connected through Podmatch, meeting for the first time, and we had a great vibe. Now we're connected on Instagram. If you want to see what that looks like, go check out my profile right now before the 24 hours are over on Instagram. And you can be able to see that too. So These are the places that you want to really think about and connect with people. So don't just use these platforms for platform's sake. Think about why you're even using those links. Because for me, the reason why I'm putting those links there is so that when people want to connect with me off the app and they see my profile, I'm not just showing up like, oh, here I am. There are links that you can actually use that will help you to make a decision or get to know me more. And that way it's easy for you to build. So just look at it like that from a perspective of how you would use it yourself, and I think you really go a long way. And I wrote an article, that's why you can see the link above. I wrote a full article about it. And if you check this article and read through it, it's going to tell you the four features that are available. I talked about it yesterday, and I'm talking about it today. And I might not talk about it tomorrow because there's a town hall tomorrow, so that you can check that out. Empress, you like to say something before we check with Dr. Fashion?
Oh, we're saying hi, Dr. Fashion. And the town hall tomorrow is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. uh Pacific time.
Thank you, Empress. Yes. I want everyone to listen, pay attention, book it on your calendar, go to this Clubhouse HQ and, RSVP so that you can listen and hear what they are saying about the app. Because the way this app is going with Clubhouse, this is what they should have done years ago. But I feel like the people who stayed, it's like this is like a gift to them. So yeah, Dr. Fashion, what you thinking about this?
I'm not thinking about it. I don't care about it. If they need to focus on the monetization features for creators, if they need money that bad, how about that? But I guess for some people this can be good, but I don't plan to pay the 44.99. I don't think it's going to do me any good. I'm good with my little link pinned at the top and putting my links in the chat. So that's my 2 cents.
But you got to remember, Clubhouse is for friends. It's not for creators anymore. They said that 2 years ago.
But most of the people on this app met people on this app and then they became their friends. I don't feel like a bunch of people on here are chatting with their friends. They could just call them. So usually when I'm in these rooms, it's people who met each other from this app. But I hear you though.
I I would like that they had created some different features to be able to monetize the app. I really would like to be able to change the color of the halo around,
Hmm.
my icon. It's a like I don't know. I find it very interesting that they chose the anonymous feature to add in. I would have gladly paid it just for the links in my profile without having to do all the coding. But there's so many other different things that they could have done that could be, a little bit safer, I feel.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I don't know how I feel about that anonymous thing. Because for one, I like to know who's in my room, especially since I have blocked people over the years of me being on Clubhouse. So to know like somebody might make a new account and just be anonymous on it, I mean, I might have to boot them out because they're anonymous. So that's not going to do them any good. But
But the issue is
I,
with the anonymous feature, you cannot block them. You cannot remove
that's
them from the room.
terrible. I
So
can
it's
block
like
an
you're a
anonymous
ghost.
person.
Yeah, so you're like a ghost in the room. You're not able to remove that ghost, nor are you able to you're not able to remove the ghost, nor are you able to block them. The ghost cannot talk on stage nor talk in the chat. They can only watch
Yeah, that's what I don't like
and
because
record.
what has happened. Yeah, see, what has happened over the years for me, especially with people that would like create a new profile and be having like one follower, they would record my rooms with their external app and regurgitate everything I say and turn it into a course. So that's why I be like peeping out who's in the audience and the whole anonymous thing. I'm not feeling it. But yeah, back to you, Favor. Oh,
You just lit up a whole room up in here.
I was going to tell you something before you move on to the next person, right?
Let's go.
Um, I just did a course recently with Goldman Sachs and a bunch of content creators, and I was talking about like AI, how to clone yourself, all this crazy stuff with AI. But one thing that I brought up is how AI is becoming the new search engine for people, right? So when I was on ChatGPT and I'm looking at like any information I may have missed around this new release, your article popped up. And I just thought that was crazy because I'm in your room, not anybody else, but your article popped up around this whole update. So just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate you because I intentionally did this. I didn't go to sleep before I hit publish and I told it to stack because I said, yo, this is like 2020. I remember in 2020 when there was nobody talking about Clubhouse on Google, the whole
Mhm.
Google, I was talking about it. And even when you ask ChatGPT, when you look at the technical setup, that's technically Microsoft and that's OpenAI. So if you're connecting your website to Bing Webmasters, to Google Search Console, you're importing data, sitemaps, you're tracking information, you're very technically sound. I did a search again last night. Nobody's talking about, not even Clubhouse. Clubhouse last article was 2024.
And
So they're not even
20.
talking about this update. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull up on the web and talk about it. And like I did in 2020 when there was still invite only, Clubhouse mode was going on.
Mhm.
And now it's popping. So you telling me this is confirmation that yes, you can rank fast. It's not even up to 24 hours, but you have to definitely do it in a way that's very specific. So yeah, I'm excited to hear all the topics, and I saw a lot of eyeballs going up. So we got John Stack, Dr. Stacy.
Nah,
Let's
nah, nah, nah.
go.
I appreciate you, Favor, for coming through earlier and dropping them gems because we've been on Clubhouse for so long, and we look and to see how we can monetize on it. Yes, we use it because there's something here that it keeps us coming back, right? But monetizing and tracking those insights are everything for me, right? Who's coming to my page? Who's checking me out, right? I like that feature because LinkedIn has it, like we said, Instagram has it, all these features have it, but it's nothing like Clubhouse having it. So now I'm excited, bro. I'm on the cutting edge. Like Favor was saying, the article part is real smart because a lot of people gonna be figuring out how to use this or trying to come back to Clubhouse and they'll be kind of lost, right? So Favor, great room, bro. I'll be here supporting and I'll chime in where need be. And make sure you guys join the marketing club because great information here and great individuals and like-minded people. Big pack. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Tack. Appreciate you for being here. I see John is here and Dr. Stacy. Dr. Stacy wanted to say hello. How are you? Welcome to the
I'm
room.
well. I'm well. How are you? Can you hear
Yes,
me
very
okay?
well.
Oh, okay, great, great. Lo, I just saw today was the first day I saw this 4.99 or 49.99 and I was like, who, what, why, and where? And when I looked at what they were offering, I'm like, dude, I don't know if that's worth 4.99, but when I listened to what Stack just said, so it's telling you when it's telling you that the people that are coming to your room, what kind of information are you receiving about the people that are coming to your room? That's my question.
Great question. So I know it's still early, and I know a lot is going to happen. Knowing Clubhouse, just knowing back in the day how they used to have tunnels every Sunday, and there was always something new happening. Everybody was excited to update the app on the App Store. Those days are coming back, but the way they're going to do it is probably going to be different. So when I'm looking at rooms right now, for this 4.99 or 49.99 to be really really worth it. It's worth it right now for me because I've been able to put links. I can see who's viewed my profile. I can connect to them. Those are things that you never used to have. And like I always said this before, and I said this in Stack's room, Google, right? Google, the Google we all know, when you connect your website to Google Search Console, they only give you 1,000 rows. Guess what? Google has over 250 billion gigabytes of data, but you only get 1,000 rows for your website on your Search Console because they limit the amount of, they call it crawl budget. They limit the amount of crawling that happens on your website, especially when you go over a certain capacity of pages. So, of course, there are ways around it that you can go and, get those pages done. I've seen that happen before and we've made it happen. But when you think about things that you're getting for free and use the same concept like here on Clubhouse, where it's 100% free, just download the app. Nobody's telling you to stay here. You can leave quietly, you can come back. anything can happen on this app and we can chill and not even be here. But because we're getting insights to this, it's like they're opening like a Pandora's box in a way. And I have a good feeling if this doesn't happen and this stays as is, then I don't know what Clubhouse is doing. But if they're going to build on what they've started, one of the things I believe that should happen is for pro users or plus users to have their own private rooms or subscription rooms so that that 49.99 I'm paying a year or 4.99 I'm paying a year, I could charge that for a ticket for my room. Someone may say, "Oh, I'm not going to pay $5 for a room that I could join in for free." But guess what? When you're in a community, in a mastermind, I mean, think about it. You are who you surround yourself around. So when you start thinking about the people you're around and you're like, oh, we're only 10 people in here in this house, but these 10 people are quality. These 10 people rule the world. They rule they dominate in their own areas. That's impact. So I don't want 100 people just waving their hands and saying kumbaya instead of us having connections with real people. And I'm doing this for business. I don't come on this app to say how was your day. We can do that on another line, not on Clubhouse. I'm here to talk about concepts, help you understand things. So if I'm able to know that this person viewed my profile within the last week, if I make a contact and then that person actually gets on a call and we actually get to meet in person or we're in the same city, that's a connection. There are people I've met here on the app, like Dr. Fashion. I've met her in person. I've met John in person. I've met people here in person. And you meet them in person and it actually strengthens the connection and deepens the relationship as opposed to just having a profile picture and singing a good song. So I'm not using this and thinking, okay, what do they have for me? I'm thinking, what can I do with what I already have? And then whatever they're going to build, whenever they build it, people are waiting for Clubhouse, to monetize, and people were monetizing off Clubhouse without even having a monetization feature on the app. So you just have to creatively think outside the box. And for me, I would do it. It's $50. That's a tax write-off. It's a no-brainer, and it's not gonna save or it's not gonna change anything. All it's gonna do is give me more access to opportunities that I won't have to think about. But if you're thinking, okay, I'm not gonna pay this at all because I'm not here at all and I don't need it, that's totally fine. I don't think they're forcing you. They're just giving you a 7-day free trial. But everybody has their opinion. And I love that Dr. Fashion even mentioned something that was, I didn't even expect you to say that. So you saying that is different. I think someone said also in Stack's room about LinkedIn that LinkedIn Premium is for you to get that feature of who saw your profile on LinkedIn, you're probably going to pay $60, $39, whatever the amount is for that same feature that you're getting here for a year that you'd be paying there a month. So it's where you focus on grows. And I feel like that's really where I look at it. I'm not looking at the price. I'm looking at the impact, relationships. I feel like now I can make deeper connections and I'll have more intentional responses as opposed to just, oh, we followed each other on the app. So that's how I'm seeing it. What do y'all think?
Hey, Favor, I feel like you said that earlier in my room, right? Is thinking outside the box. If you don't think outside the box, you'll stay in it, right? You came into Media Mentors and you dropped that. You said, hold on, I got to be creative using this. How can I follow up with people? How can I look for people that are following me, right? Because there's people that's probably checking you out that you haven't talked to in a long time. So I'm thinking about following up, re-following these things, right? Because you never know. You could be missing out on certain things because you haven't looked at the insights. So, Favor, great room, bro. And thank you for dropping that earlier because now we're, reminded of, like, yeah, use the insights. You'll be paying more on different platforms. Clubhouse is just rolling this out. It's been free for 5 years. Now that this is here, you can take advantage of your insights on who's coming to your profile. So, yeah, bro, great idea. Let's go.
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much for that stack. John, what you thinking?
I'm thinking that I just haven't gotten around to getting the paid membership, and it's by the way, I did. I'm doing a course through. It's called Corsair or whatever it is. It's about social media advertising to get certified, and it's 40. It's the cost of this app per month. So nothing's cheap. The big thing is going to be the anonymous mode doesn't really thrill me. The extra links do thrill me. I'll put in the extra photos the other day. I'll probably do the paid membership very, very soon. But the ability to see people following you, that will help as well. The main thing I want from Clubhouse is to take this paid membership and turn it into giving you access like you used to have, where you could have larger rooms and get more notifications that you're doing a room, and get a little bit of the ability to use this as an influencer, and use the app for what I believe is intended for, and not for small social dinner party type gatherings. Those have very little appeal to me. So the paid membership, $4.95 a month, whatever it is, that's not the issue. It's what comes with it for me. I think, and if you get some support, then I'm all in. So I'll be doing it very soon.
Thank you. That was amazing because I believe that too, 100%, especially the support part, like Meta. When you get Meta verified, you have access to support. So is there Clubhouse support you can get access to behind, or are they going to create another tier on top of this pro feature for you to beat like maybe a third tier? I don't know. We don't know because if this happens, don't say you didn't know because these things could possibly happen. They threw a fast one on us on a Tuesday. So now we're going to hear them tomorrow and see what they have to say. But I'm looking at this from that perspective of, okay, let's see what happens, in Q3, then Q4. How are we going to keep moving? Is this thing going to last? Are people going to pay for it? Are people going to think about it? And some people don't even remember to unsubscribe because 7 days hit, boom, you got like literally 7 days from now, that's what's going to happen if you don't unsubscribe and if you don't want it. So this is what I do whenever I go to an app I don't want to be on and I'm just trying to see, it's have a 7 day trial. I'll literally go to the app store, not the app store. After downloading from the app store, I'll go to my settings and then I'll go to the subscriptions in my settings, look at all the apps I'm subscribed to, and then unsubscribe from that immediately. So when 7 days hit, you're not getting hit with the ding so that you're able to it's just a no-brainer because you can easily forget. 7 days is a quick time to forget a lot of things if you're so busy with your day schedule that you might just forget, oh, I forgot to hit cancel. So I usually just say that, but if you want to keep it, please go ahead. If you want to go ahead and just pay right away and skip the trial, that's on you too. No one's saying, hey, you should do it or shouldn't do it, but I feel like this is also going to have a way of showing people more intentionalities of how they show up on the app and what they're using the app for as opposed to how they used to use the app before. Especially when people start seeing your pictures and your links, you kind of get a little more picture of who the person is because one profile isn't enough. When I go to your LinkedIn profile, great, that's fine. But now when I go to your Clubhouse, when I go to your Facebook, your Instagram, I can see more pictures of you. Like right now, I have two pictures. This picture is my LinkedIn picture, and the other one is what I used to use. So it depends on where you want to be and what you want to use it for. So yeah, we're definitely going to tap into this. Empress, did you want to say something too?
Yes, I just forgot it.
Please wave when it's back and I'll just stop right away. Please let me know because I know it's a hot thought. And I appreciate you, Valerie, Anisha. I see you as well in the audience. And thank you for the hearts and emojis. Yes, you're totally on point with that. I'm thinking about this in so many ways, even with the pictures, right? If you have multiple pictures here and I have a case study or I have an hour to talk to you about something, I can use those pictures in my multiple profile pictures like a slideshow and upload slides, upload infographics for the room so that you can go through and slide through and see what I'm talking about. I'm being creative. I'm thinking outside the box. Okay, what can I use this space for? What can I really use it for? Just like with LinkedIn, when you have LinkedIn and they tell you to do audio pronunciation of your name, instead of just saying how your name is pronounced, use that space to talk about what you do. So there are no rules. Let me just say it like that. There are no rules on social media. There's no rule book. There's no manual that says post twice a day, use 5 hashtags, use 140 characters, and then you're going to go viral. That doesn't happen in today's world. So when you are intentional about where you're connecting with people, it makes sense. The article that you see above is what I wrote because I know what Clubhouse did 5 years ago, article wise, and now with AI, with I had to beef it up even more. and add structured data to it so that when it's submitted to Bing, submitted to Google, submitted to Yandex, submitted to Brave, people can see it. DuckDuckGo, these are platforms people use. When I'm working with clients, I'm looking at browsers. Not everyone is using Chrome, not everyone is using the same thing. So when I'm learning more from my community, learning more from my clients, and I'm just on my own, it changes everything. And I think that's where we need to start thinking outside the box. So some people will say they'll never pay this Clubhouse feature. Never. Like they're like, we are not paying Clubhouse a cobble, a dime, a cent, a dollar, a penny, nothing. Right? Some people may say that and stick by it, and that's totally fine. Some people may just say, hey, I'm just do the whole year and forget about it and let's see where it goes. But when you start noticing that the rooms that you're in start to change and the algorithm starts to pick up, and let's say the features start to come in, it's going to bring a lot of attention in. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. And I see John also got the, oh yeah, go ahead, Empress. I'm going to stop.
Oh, thank you. You were mentioning earlier about additional features. I truly believe that Clubhouse will add on second tier and third tier features. And this will encourage more people to actually make the purchase and do the $4.99 a year, if not pay more. Um, I can see them adding in additional upgrade tiers. So if you wanted to kick somebody out of your room that was an anon, you could do that. There's so many things that they can do with it, especially with like adding banners, like where you can have like a rolling banner across rooms. You can, if you can upgrade, then you'll have like here, 1-800 number across the top, or hey, my podcast comes out every Tuesday at 8 a.m. All kinds of interesting, great things that they can come up with.
I love that. Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely possible for that to happen with tiers because I don't know. Even think about it, apps, CapCut, like name them, they have levels, they have tiers, and I feel like they're also testing because Clubhouse has always been testing in motion. That's always been their thing. They test on the go, they'll break it, fix it. There's a bug today, it's fixed tomorrow. That's Clubhouse. If you've been here for a long time, you definitely see the pattern. So I know there could be tiers I could pull up, and if they could just have a desktop version with analytics, that's going to be a game changer because I remember when I used to use Diacon. I don't know who still uses Diacon or ClubHub on Clubhouse, but those days were beautiful. Yes, Empress remembers, Anisha remembers. Yeah, it was a great time, and you could read the room, see the stickiness, see what time to show up on. If somebody's having the room as you, and we're both doing marketing, why am I going to do it in the same hour? So it was kind of like slot for slot. So you were able to really understand and pick up your times. Get to know who's in the room. It was nice. And I feel like if it's possible, and it was possible, and Club Deck is still available, then why not? Because that's also going to keep them in competition, also keep them, ahead of the game. But let's see how this rolls out. I'm really curious to see how this goes because 4 features is not enough, for a pro feature, but it's enough to see where it could take us to, because I have a definite fact. Clubhouse cannot leave us dry and like high and dry like this. That's impossible. The way Clubhouse be dropping features like left and right like it's candy, no way. I know for sure Clubhouse has features that we have not seen yet. That when you see them, you'll be like, oh, now I see why. And some people will be missing out because they don't have it. So the experience on Clubhouse is going to be different from others. So that's now when people are going to be like, oh, I'm missing out. Oh, I can't see it. Like somebody like Stack, you were saying like today somebody deleted I think their profile, their Instagram and Twitter. And because they're not a pro member, they were not able to put but you can remove it, but you can't put it back. So they were able to remove their profile pictures, remove all the stuff, but they can't put it back until they now join as a pro feature. So it's going to be a lot of hiccups and things here. Do you keep the same features after you deleted your Instagram and Twitter, like Stack was talking about in his room earlier today? And somebody brought that up. How are we going to decide what stays and what doesn't stay? So it's going to be interesting. I remember when there was tips on Clubhouse and you had to create a Stripe account for those tips. Are we going to bring those back? I remember there were wallets, crypto wallets. Are we going to bring those back? Are they going to stay? If they're going to stay, how long are they going to stay? Are we going to connect to Coinbase? Are we going to connect to where are we going? I remember NFTs was a thing. Is it still a thing? There's so many things that people are doing off Clubhouse that if we can still bring it to Clubhouse, I know we can definitely have a great time here. So who's on stage? Who's in the chat? What are you thinking? What are you going to use this app for? Are you going to use it differently, the same? Are you going to leave? Are you going to come back with more topics? How is it going to look like for you, at least for June to begin with? Anybody want to tap in?
Well, what I did also notice is a lot more people having bringing back their private rooms.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
So, for instance, like yesterday, after this feature was rolled out and I came through a few rooms, I started noticing spaces that used to not. A lot of people had stopped, I guess, using the private room feature, and I started seeing more spaces, and I would just jump in, and it was like, oh, this room is a private room. They did not want people who had that anon to be able to come in. So I thought that was interesting. And then also, we do have public rooms on here where people, pay per day, or normally I see per day. They go and pay through Cash App, or through Apple Pay to individuals to be able to stay in a room. So now I guess more people will now think of better ways to like monetize, such as putting it behind a wall, like some rooms do. For instance, you may pay like $5 for this, tidbit of content of something that may have happened, or to be in a room with a group of people. So then after you make your payment, then they'll give you a link to the room. So I can see that happening more. And I seen it, yesterday and today.
Yeah, I can see that. And I think they're called, if there's another word for it, it's probably something close to magic links. That's what I usually see them, because what you're describing, I can see that on other softwares where it's like a link that once the room is done, it's dissolved, that's it. So if let's say you have a replay, that link cannot be accessed unless maybe you're part of the room. So there's definitely a way you can make it into a magic link. So there's a lot of things you can definitely try in 2025 and see where it goes. But I'm also very excited to see that decided to at least put some dollars to this app, at least to put it somewhere on the map, because it was nowhere at all. We didn't know whether this is going to be free forever, just like other platforms. TikTok was free, then before you know it, you're paying for things, and then on Facebook you're paying for things, and then LinkedIn you're paying for things. There's a premium, so it's going to be like Clubhouse Premium or Clubhouse Plus, or maybe they might have Clubhouse Platinum or whatever they're going to call it. So I just feel like the way it's going is a good direction. And if Clubhouse has more things up their sleeves within their roadmap, it's going to be good. And just to think about it, if I really think about this, like if I really, now that I'm thinking about it like this, I'm actually having a quick thought, and I want to share this thought with you. Clubhouse is 5 years old. When you turn five, things change. So I'm expecting when Clubhouse is turning 10, we're going to have a completely different experience here. So when Clubhouse was 0 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we had all this growing pains of leaving the app, destroying the app, coming back. Yeah, it happens, right? But it's starting to take form. There's still millions of monthly active users on the app, despite the fact that people say Clubhouse is dead, quote unquote. But people are still here. I've never come to the app and I don't see a room open. So it's definitely still going on. It just depends on how you want to curate your rooms and where you want to go. So I feel like if they've been able to do this now and it's 5 years old, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will definitely have a different effect. And I won't be surprised if they start bringing new features or new things, or there's a desktop app, you can download this. You never know what's in their roadmap. And that's why I always say when you look at companies and businesses, they think in decades. Welcome, Ed. Glad to have you here. they think in decades, right? Tesla, Apple, all these companies, they move in decades, right? If you see something happening in year 5, they probably planned it in year 1 because they had a projected schedule or a projected graph or a forecast on how businesses run. When these companies turn 10, 20, 25, 50, things change. So I'm not really surprised that I'm thinking about it that Clubhouse did this when they turned 5. Because if they did this earlier, they may have caught an early bird, an early worm. That may have happened. But who knows? They may have probably would have probably missed the whole thing, but we'll never know because that time is past. So if we're dealing with the future and we're thinking about this now, then I have a really strong feeling that that could change a lot of things, and it will bring Clubhouse to where it should be, because even the discovery is starting to get really exciting. And there are a lot of things that are happening. Like, if somebody's anonymous in the room, like we have an anonymous person in the room, I remember saying this yesterday and the person waved at me. So I was like, okay, cool. But at the end of the day, like Dr. Fashion is saying, for you, it will be more of a secure privacy and safety thing. So when there are tears, they may change those things. But what if it's just a good listen, but maybe I just don't want to be hurt? You see? So you see the now I'm getting an emoji as well. So you're welcome. So it's like you never know. That person might end up clicking on your profile and connecting with you because they see your real profile. So I'm not saying that it's bad or it's good. People have their reasons for doing what they do. Some people even have Instagram private. Some people have Instagram public. So it's up to you. The social media world is free to use. And I feel like if you use it the way you want to and you get the best result out of it, then that's how you can do it. Some people like their privacy. Some people completely do not want to be seen online. Some people don't even have a social media account. So yeah, everybody is different, and I love that it's opening up like this. But we're gonna have to see where this goes as well, and really, really create this as well. For those who are here and haven't gotten the Plus account, and you're here, if you're gonna get it, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not gonna get it, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to see something really quickly. Let's have a quick poll. If you
As you can see, I already did it. And the main reason why, putting the links to all those sites in there. We're limited to two, and those two are pretty useless. Instagram and Twitter. Now I put LinkedIn. I put my website. I can put Medium, where I make money. Uh, Blogspot, a whole bunch of them. So yeah, that right there is worth it.
Yeah, you're right. That is definitely worth it. Dr. Fashion was giving me the eyes like, what you trying to do?
No, I'm listening. But I do recall, like, over a year ago, it used to be a thing where you didn't need to, like, now you're paying to have obviously these new features and become anonymous in a room. But back then, they used to have it where you could just be anonymous if you didn't have an account, and all you had was the link to listen in. So I see what they're doing. Because you can't even do that no more. Back in the days, I used to send links to my Facebook group, and they didn't care to be on Clubhouse, so they didn't make a profile. They would just listen in, but it would show that they were a listener, but they were anonymous, right? And then as time progressed, I would continue sending the links out, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, Clubhouse trying to get me to make a whole profile." I was like, "Oh, I see what they're doing." So yeah, find that interesting.
Hmm, that is true. It used to be like somebody would come into a room and you'd see them, but you don't see them.
Yeah.
Like they're.
Yep. No picture, no nothing.
Yeah, they're trying to brand it now. So it's a Clubhouse thing they're probably trying to do, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see how far this goes. But I feel like it's also going to be good for some people to just tap in, listen, and see where it goes. But I definitely know that the privacy and safety, trust and safety, that's going to be a big deal, because I don't know how they're going to deal with those requests or proposals, or I don't know, submissions, but it's going to be a lot of them coming in, because a lot of case studies will be happening. So even if they take it off, I won't be surprised. Wait, so is it headed to OnlyFans land? I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens on the audio sounds. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but yeah, it's gonna be a whole different thing. I remember music mode, everybody has it. So I don't know. I think there's gonna be a different set up for it. And I've always said it, now that I think about our links, if you have these links on your profile, you're a walking, talking link tree. Because when I think about Clubhouse, where do you build a clubhouse? On a tree, right? So when I use imagery, creativity, mindset, like I don't just think like, oh, okay, Clubhouse, yay. But I'm looking at wood, material, sand, nails. I'm looking at things that I'm like, okay, how do I build this clubhouse? Can it stand the test of time? When wind blows, can I still be here? And now it's like a walking, talking link tree because now when you show up, you don't have to put your link at the top of the room. You can, but if somebody really wants to connect with you, they'll click on your profile and they'll see all your links there from your website to if they want to connect with you, get on a call, it's right there. Like you don't have to say too much, especially if they are interested and they check your profile. So when someone is checking your profile here on Clubhouse and you don't have those links available, that's a missed opportunity because all those people cannot see it to the point where I even had to take off. You know how on Clubhouse you used to write LinkedIn, my name, Instagram, my name, www dot your website. Those things are gone now. So I took that off my profile because now they can be active links. So now I have more real estate to type more characters that actually can fulfill or justify what I'm talking about within my links. So if I have an event all month and I have a workshop, I can use those links for that reason and do it away like that. So when you're creating content, your content is actually being seen on the app on Clubhouse. And then from it being on Clubhouse, take the replays off, move it to your podcast. And then from your podcast, you send it out as an email. Those people will see it as an email. They'll connect with you on LinkedIn. It happens so many times through email. So these connections are real. And if you're not just looking at the room as, oh, there are 5 people in the room and looking at, oh, imagine the number of people that will listen to this a year from now, then it changes everything, right, Dr. Fashion?
He saw me on mic. I have a question for you. So, how do you plan to track the conversions between you pinning links at the top as opposed to like links in your bio? How do you plan to track that to see which one is working for you?
Here's what I'm going to do,
Come
Dr.
on,
Fashion.
John. Let's
I'm
go.
going, first of all, I'm going to, I just enabled ten links, but I'm going to put source codes on the ones that I use Google Analytics to check traffic on. I'm already seeing traffic from Clubhouse when I pin links up top using a source code. So that makes a bit difference. Now, other ones like Apple Podcasts, Believe Podcast Network, I don't have access to their analytics, so I can't really track them. But the question I have, Favor, I checked yours and I see his links work. Do non-paid Clubhouse Pro members, can they click on the links like Dr. Fashion? If you look at my bio, can you see the links?
Yeah, you have. I see 4 links. Is that right? Because I am on
There should
Club
be
Deck,
10.
so just
You Club Deck. Uh, that might
yeah.
be different, but I've got 10 links
Okay.
enabled. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks different. Favor, do you see 10 links?
I see 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I see Instagram plus and 9 more.
How about
So
someone that's
I
in the listening lounge, the house member that's not a member of the Clubhouse Pro membership? Can they check and see? Sharon is in. She saw all 10. Okay, cool. Thank you.
yeah, great question, Dr. Fashion, and great response, John. I was also gonna say this too. This is something that I've noticed as a tactic. Everybody that gets the pro feature or the plus feature, by default, your Instagram.com slash your name and your X.com slash your username is going to be there by default. So if you've already done this, you can just go and delete it from the top. But if you want to change it, the order, I hope they're able to make it. I don't think they will because Clubhouse has never had links. So this happening is a blessing. So I'll be grateful for what they've brought in. When you go to the profile, you'll see that it's Instagram first. Like right now, when I click on your name, John, I'm seeing Instagram.com. So if you want it to now be LET Radio instead, then you take off Instagram, take off X, so that whatever is third in place is going to be first in place. And then you have room for more so that you can now add the Instagram and the Twitter link
What? You
below
can
it.
do that? I can try that. I'm gonna certainly try it.
Yeah, I like to break things and test things out. So, so I
Well,
tested that
I'm
and it
so
worked.
glad you're because I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. I'll never fix it again.
I love it. Julie, how are you? Welcome to the app. Are you trying Clubhouse Plus, joining or not? And I was she's not joining. Julie's like, I don't know if I'm joining. I'll repeat it, Sharon. I'll repeat it for you. Julie, did you want to say
No,
something?
it's so weird. Like I've joined a room or two today, and it doesn't allow me to speak, so I have to leave and come back. It's so weird. Like my mic button is frozen. It says you can't speak. I don't know why. It's so weird.
Hmm. Interesting. When have you updated the app from the app
I think
store?
so. I don't know. I have a new phone, so I'm guessing that I have updated it, but I'm curious to hear about the new stuff. Like it's very interesting to me why I don't know why they're doing it, but just kind of listening.
Yeah, it's very different for me. Some people said that they got the automatic updates when they got into the app. Some people had to click update. So maybe it's even on the phone or the iOS you're on. Because, like, for me on the 16 Pro Max, I had to go into Clubhouse. Actually, I didn't even know there was an update till I got a notification from Clubhouse HQ saying, hey, there's a Clubhouse Pro. I was like, what? So I literally left the app, went to the App Store, and I saw it said update. So it didn't automatically update. I was like, okay. Some people maybe set it up to update, automatically, but I had to manually click it. So when I clicked it, I came back in. So that screenshot that you see that's on my article that you see at the top, that's the emoji that you see. Welcome to Clubhouse. Plus, choose your plan, whether you want monthly or yearly, but you have a 7-day trial and then you're in and you can use all those four features again. So, what I said, Sharon, earlier is that because you have, and this is for everybody, when you look at your profile right now, anybody that is on stage or in the audience with a profile that has an Instagram link, by default, you know how back then it used to be the Instagram logo and then the X logo? Those are gone now. So it's no longer a tap to or click to scroll or click to redirect. What you have to do now is take off, if you're going to do this from scratch, take off your Instagram, take off your X so that you have a fresh canvas. And then you can now start adding the links. And then at the very bottom, you can add your Instagram. Like for me, if you click on my face and you now see my link, it says playing.online and seven more. When you click on seven more, my Instagram is the very last one. And I put it there. I said, connect with me on Instagram. Somebody will click on Instagram and it will take them to the Instagram account. So that way, you don't have to have your Instagram.com as the first thing you see. And now it becomes actually your website. And John just did that, yeah, letradio.com. So now everything else that's not primary is now secondary or tertiary. And now it's just easier for people to flow. Hope that made sense, Sharon. Let me know, give me a thumbs up, or if I may help me out. John, I hope I
You
made
did. You
sense.
made a lot of sense. I got rid of my Instagram and X, so I did find a little thing where I broke it and I can't fix it. It will not allow me to add them back in. It said I had the maximum number of links. So we've only got 8 right now. But I moved up number one, my website. I've moved up number two, Facebook, because let's be honest, I make more money off Facebook, and Instagram is a total waste of my time. I throw it as an add-on bonus. It doesn't really do much. LinkedIn is in there. I make far more money off of LinkedIn than I do of Instagram. So those are all pluses. And if I can do that for 4.90, let's just say $5 a month, why not?
Honestly, it's a no-brainer. Honestly, like people will follow you, connect with you, check your profile. It's different. Like LinkedIn, when you check somebody's profile, I mean, to say, yeah, this person viewed your profile and then you don't do anything about it, that's a missed opportunity. It's like an abandoned cart. That's literally what it is. Because this person, and I like that, I was about to say Facebook, Clubhouse has given you 7 days to process that. So after 7 days, you're probably going to have a new link completely. Hey, Joe, welcome to the room. Thank you for being here. And glad to see what you guys are doing on the app. Second day doing this run test. And hey, Debbie, welcome to the room too. So it's like I'm thinking about this with Clubhouse, and I'm like, okay, if we're gonna have this pro feature, there's a lot of things that I'm excited to see, and I know there's a whole roadmap down the road, whole roadmap. So I'm very grateful, very excited, and just by making these changes, like because I like to break things, put things back together. Now that you know that you can take off your Instagram, your Twitter off your feed and then reorder the links because you can't manually or automatically, like I would say, like press and hold. You can't really do that. So you just have to do it manually. But why I like that is because you have to be very intentional, very, very intentional about how you connect with people on the app, how you even use your multiple pictures. I will think of using them as a keynote presentation or as a slideshow so that people can actually get to hear what I'm talking about in the room, since I can change them. If I have my links, people can go to the links, have the premium one at the top. So, and we talked about the invite. Yes, thank you so much, Joe, for that. Yes, 5 p.m. Pacific time, Clubhouse HQ, be there. I'm going to be there because I feel like a lot of people need to learn about what's going on. I'm sure there's a lot more we don't know, but the far much that we know, a lot is going to be really good for us to really tap in. So I'm using this feature, and I feel like it's going to separate the real from the fake, because if somebody can tip you $5 on the app, how do you expect them to pay you $5 off the app? So it's going to be a completely different ball game, and I think this is going to be a good thing to see. And some people may say, yeah, why am I going to pay this? I mean, I'm getting it for free. But if Clubhouse, I pray to God that Clubhouse is able to have, closed rooms, private rooms like we used to have before, then this pro feature, people can invite them through their email list, build the app again, just get to enjoy what's happening on Clubhouse. Because I've been on Clubhouse since November 24th, 2020, and I'm not leaving. I'm here till the wheels fall off, because I know I've met a lot of people here in person, on stage, in the room, and you never know where you meet somebody. I'm in Houston. You never know where you meet somebody. Oh, I'm in the same city as you. Boom, pull up. Let's go have coffee. That's how we connect. And doing this organically is helpful. That's why I said, hey, when I joined Clubhouse in 2020, I wrote an article because nobody was talking about it on Google. And because I'm big on SEO, I did it again. And Dr. Fashion said today that she saw the article on Bing before, and I posted this at 12:15 a.m.
I've seen it on Chat GPT. That's where your article
Let's
was at.
go.
You did your thing. You did your big one.
Let's go. Thank you. I mean, this is a simple case study, but it's also very complicated because SEO is technical, and I've seen the success of SEO, especially when you look at links online. ChatGPT is Microsoft. Microsoft is OpenAI. You connect your website, you do the right things, you get technical, you write your schema products, you do things correctly. I mean, when you do the job well, you've done a job well done. And so, like, if you cooked a great meal, you've cooked a great meal. If you built a great house, you've built a great house. If you've made a great song, you've made a great song. This is a great app. Clubhouse is a great app. And I feel like those who use this app well will succeed. The ones who don't, we'll see. So it's up to you to see how this is going to go. So I'm really excited to see this, and let's take it to the next level. Valerie, what you thinking about the app? And welcome to Clubhouse Plus.
Yay! I'm so excited. I'm so glad I popped in this room because you guys really just convinced me. I was in the room with Queen ZZ Williams. She already had me too. And then now I'm like, okay, Favor's talking about it. I need to get on this. Especially like you said, we've been on here for 5 years investing in ourselves, in our people. People know who we are, all about us now. So it's like, why not? Okay, because Clubhouse has been supporting us being free and letting people know and network and connect with each other. Like you said, I've been meeting queens all over the globe, y'all. Okay, my queens, we did a women conference out here in San Francisco. That's how big we're taking it. Okay, look at King Joe down there in the audience. Hey, we see you. But yes, so I just right now I was like, let me just go ahead because I was gonna do it later, but I was like, let me just do it right this second while Favor is talking about it because I need to add my Spotify. If y'all didn't know, I got a podcast, so I'm like, yes, let's go ahead and see if these views blast off. So it's like you really got to turn those negatives into positives. Okay, any way you could get some income, you better make it happen, period. Okay, and just make sure you stay with the marketing club with King Favor, King John, Queen Julie, yes, and Dr. Fashion. Y'all all got the gems, period. So y'all definitely stay connected. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Valerie. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to so many good things out here. I remember very well in the beginning, I was like, can't we just have our LinkedIn profile on Clubhouse? Is that too much to ask? And now we got 8 links. It's like they were just like, you know what? You asked for this, here you go. He just watered you with all this goodness. So I'm glad that you're able to do this now and choose the links that you want to put up there as opposed to being some people didn't even have an X account for 5 years. Some people don't even use the platform. So now if you're able to use this correctly and know exactly why you're putting those links up, then people can connect with you and actually you can be a walking, talking link tree on Clubhouse. If you think about the concept of Clubhouse, I don't know if that's what the concept is, but I have a very visual image and a very futuristic mindset. So when I think of a Clubhouse, and I'm thinking about trees and all these things, I'm like, yeah, of course. When I get into a room and someone's listening to me and they listen and they like what they're hearing, they're gonna connect. If they don't like it, they're gonna leave. So I can't force anybody to do anything. All I can do is be myself. So when that happens and it resonates and people connect and they stay, then that says a lot about what you're bringing out to the table. You can only give what you have. You can't give what you don't have. So Clubhouse is giving a lot, and I'm really excited to see what else is coming up on that. Joe, you wrote down town hall next Tuesday. So I was wondering if it's tomorrow and next Tuesday same time, or it's just going to be a different time on next Tuesday. But I know for sure it's 5 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to all the good stuff that we're going to be having here on the app. So
Just signed up, Fave.
let's go. We
And then
are.
the truth is, if you can't afford $50 a year, then there's something wrong. And I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but I always talk about that to John. Like you have to pay to play. And it's a great little tool. And I think Clubhouse, we have been using it for 5 years. Let's throw them $50 a year. It's not a big deal.
Favor, they need to add you to their marketing team. Like, you talking about their product more than them. Just saying.
Honestly speaking,
Just add you to the team at this point, you know? You got me ready to sign up. I'm about to sign
I
up.
just thought of a question. Now, I tried adding, I'm going to come back in a little bit later on, but I tried adding a longer link source code to my number one link, which is my website. You could, in theory, this is something that maybe Faber will try because he's got some extra links, is put up an affiliate link on your 10 links and see if it shows up and if it's workable, if it's clickable.
it should be clickable. I haven't put an affiliate link, but any link I believe that is URL. Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate you for joining us today. It was just, you just shed a light on us. So thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think about the affiliate links as smart links, right? So I'm thinking that if you have a link and it is naturally clickable, like if I click on this app or I click on this link off Clubhouse or in my email or in my messages, then that link is accessible, it's clickable, and it's trackable. But if it's not clickable and it's an affiliate link, then there's probably a broken code or the link is probably broken in between the pathway or the protocol. So that could happen. And you also have to think about testing it because if you think about websites these days, especially for SEO, ChatGPT, all these great sources, your website has to be secured, HTTPS. So when you put your links here, I even decided not to do it and it's working because I was like, let me test it out and see if it was going to happen. Whereby instead of doing HTTPS colon, / www dot, and then your website, your domain, just put in the domain property and just say it is your website.com. And then If it actually is a HTTPS link, it will redirect to that because it's called a canonical name. So that's what the search engines refer to as the primary of that account when it comes to the name and the URL. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, for those who are hearing what a URL is. And that URL is a pathway. So when you're putting your links here on Clubhouse, yes, you can put UTM trackers, you can put all those things in between, but if they're not going to work, then I'd rather just have the domain as simple as it is with a forward slash, keep it simple, keep it light so that people can read it. Because even though you have a link, under it, there's also a name that you can name the link as a custom name. So that custom name is what people are going to read first. And then underneath is going to be that link. So they might see it, they might not, but if they click it, they're going to be clicking it based on the title of the URL, unless you don't name the URL with the custom name. So I'm going to try that out. I haven't put an affiliate link on my account, but I will try that and see if that works, John. But that was a really good catch. Thank you so much for that. So I'm really excited about this. How are we feeling about this? And if you're trying to use this, like Julie said, if you can't put $50 a year to this, I don't know what to tell you. You're probably not the right person for this room. I don't know, because it's a tax write-off. It's it's a business move. How if you look at your screen time, 52 weeks in a year for the last 5 years, if Clubhouse has not been in your top three, then I mean, the least you can do is get information about where you spend the most time on the app. Even if I'm using this only just for links or just for views, then I want to know who's viewing the profile, because the people who are viewing your profile, it will keep growing. It will keep growing. And then if you never talk to them, it's just going to be a vanity metric. But if you turn that vanity metric into a dynamic metric where you're able to scale because there's power in the follow up, everybody's busy. Everybody has something to do. We're not just waiting, fingering our thumbs, waiting for you to call us. People are busy. People have families. People have things to take care of, very important things in their lives to do. So when you're top of their mind, that's a blessing. That's a gift. So if they're able to reach out to you here on the app and you're not reaching back to them, they might be scared to reach out to you because they don't know what you might say. You can reach out to them and say, hey, thanks for checking out my profile. What brought you to my page? Simple. Don't send the link of buy my course or download this. That's not the conversation to have at that time, because you don't even know what they came in for. If they came in to partner with you or to work with you or to learn from you, you're probably pitching to the wrong person. So you just have to read the room, and then that way you're able to know how to connect with people. But definitely this app is going places, and I feel like it's definitely the start of something new for sure. How you guys feeling? You guys like the app? Are you guys going to move in, move out? How are we going to do this? Dr. Fashion, are you changing your mind, or are you going to stick to, no, I'm going to stick with my green beam and my profile. I'm not going to go to Clubhouse Plus and they can have it all day.
um, like I said, you have been doing a good job, talking about the product and whatnot. But no, I do plan to try out the free trial. I think for me, if I'm going to be paying for anything on Clubhouse, what I care more about is visibility. And it was just some things that John mentioned too, like bigger rooms and all the other stuff. So that's like my main thing. Like I'll pay for that, but I don't think I care too much to see who view my profile, because I talk to every single person in my room and then I make sure I connect with them offline. So this might be helpful for like somebody else.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, there's definitely a follow up that has to be there. And yes, I agree with you too, Valerie, what Sharon said. Yeah, having the links is definitely a great move. I feel like that was much needed, because you can't just have one link at the top of the room or one link in the chat. By the time the chat is filled up with 500 chats, where's your chat? So it's a good way to just separate things. You can still put it in the chat, but it's easier for someone to talk to you through your profile. Like you have a profile card as well. And Sharon is asking about the profile views. So profile views are a beautiful, it's really beautiful, because I love that they put profile views right below your friends. So if you do an average, like for me, I haven't used this much, but I have 1.8K friends. And out of those 1.8K friends, I have 127 people who have viewed my profile this week. Today is Wednesday, so the week is not over yet, right? So if I have 127 viewers out of 1,800 friends, that tells me that I have 7%. What does that mean? 7%. What will I use? Yeah, I'll call it an impression rate. 7% impression rate because it's just an impression. It's not doing anything. It's just a profile. Some people have 2, 5, 10, 25, 500. Yeah, it's a lot of views, Sharon. A lot of profile views. That's a lot of views that you didn't have before, which was already happening 5 years in a row that we never knew until yesterday. So for me, it's a big eye opener because now I can actually go in, connect to that person and say, hey, thanks for checking in. It's just a thank you. I mean, if I'm spent an hour on Clubhouse talking and I can spend 10 minutes replying to everyone that followed me or saw me, by the time I come back to this app tomorrow, I have replays and have replies to have because I have replays that are connected. I have to reply to this person because this person responded back. And then on top of that, people that are not on this app every day. So if I'm here on a Wednesday and you saw me on a Wednesday, why am I going to reply to you on a Friday when I know you're not going to be here till next Tuesday? I've missed a whole weekend, a whole holiday, it's a whole mess. So I would say impression rate, just divide. And this is me telling you stuff that I'm going through because I'm not Clubhouse CEO. I'm just, I just love Clubhouse. And when I do the math and I'm doing all these numbers, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what could actually happen? Because I like to really break things down. So if you look at your count and you say, okay, you have X number of profile views, divide that number over the total number of your friends times 100. That's going to tell you how many people have actively been on your account. Just do that manual math. For me, it's 7% right now, 7.05%. So that tells me that out of this 7%, if I do 1% every day for a week and I'm connecting with these people intentionally, I don't know what they want. I don't know why they saw me. I don't know how they found me. Some of them maybe are my friends and maybe were just wanting to say hi. And then you start that conversation, it's going to change a lot of things. So I'm going to do what I'm saying I'm going to do so that you can try it too if you see that happen to you too. So it's definitely a great place to be. And I also feel like even with the Clubhouse Pro feature or the Plus feature, I have a feeling they might say this in the town hall, but I have a feeling that the algorithm puts your rooms in a much better position to be seen, which totally makes sense, which should even be happening because we have a lot of people who have joined that have a lot of pink tickets. So I really appreciate each and every one of you that are being here as well with us. Ed, Sensei, Flo, Michael, Steven, Ada, Sonia, Captain, and Tiff. Appreciate you and thank you as well, Anisha. Thank you, appreciate that, and Valerie too. So it just means that there is something happening, right? And I would even love to know, put it in the chat. How did you find this room? Put it in the chat because this is real time feedback. Because if you don't know, you'll never know. All right, Dr. Fashion, no problem. We'll be right here. So how do you know these things? Do you find the room through happenstance? Do you just pop in? Do you find it through searching? Do you have a friend that saw it that you saw that was in the room? It could be anything. So you see, top of the hallway. Thank you for that feedback. So you never know what you see outside because we're in a room. When you're inside your room, you don't know what's going out in the backyard. You're in your room unless you can see through the window. But if you don't have access to that view, then you can't see that. It's just type. It's just logic, and that's just how it is. So it definitely has a lot to say. Tiff says, "Hey, I found it in the hallway. The title was interesting. Thank you." Sharon says, "Your title brought me in. Thank you." Anisha, top of the hallway. Tim says, "Your title. Thank you." So it's very. This is so good because if I had a different title, we would not have this room count, we will not have this room energy, we will not have this room space, we will not have this room information because people will be coming in for a different thing. If I was talking about gardening tools to use for the summertime, nobody's going to be here. That's a fact, right? Because I mean, you might be here to be curious, but you're not going to spend an hour to stay and listen. That's not happening. So that's why keywords, SEO, target, these are things that are very important because you never know what this could do to your account. You never know whether it's going to bring more people or repel people, or you're probably saying too much or too little. It helps. My title, I always put in effort to make sure that at least when you read through it, you make a decision whether you want to join in or not. And then when you use a question mark, it also allows somebody to make a decision. So when you're thinking about what I'm doing, apply the same concepts because I'm leaving you success clues here. Every time I open a room, I'm always leaving you something to remember. If you write an email to someone and you have an email list, use a question mark. If you have a podcast, use a question mark. If you have a title, use a question mark because those question marks are prompting answers that will require click throughs. That's the goal. If you want to get traffic is gotten from direction, right? If I tell you turn left, turn right, then go straight and then turn left again, if you turn opposite on each of those instructions, you're going to end up somewhere completely different. That's just the fact. So I just feel like definitely this is something that I said, yeah, I'm going to do this. Because yesterday I asked, hey, do you want me to be here again? And people said, yes, yes, yes. And I said, okay, I'll make sure I keep to my word and pull up again and pull up to the web, like I said earlier. But doing this is because I know people need this information. And if I don't give it to you, who's going to say it? And I would have never guessed that Dr. Fashion would have told me today that ChatGPT told her about this article that you see at the top of the room. And I did this not even up to 24 hours ago. I did at 12:15 a.m. this morning. I wrote this article, did the SEO, made sure it was tight, and then boom, it's showing up everywhere and it's not even a day old. So I know how to rank on ChatGPT. It's not something that is hard. It's something that you just have to be intentional. When people are asking right questions about what you provide as a service, you're able to give that response in a way that is not sounding salesy. It's sounding educational, it's sounding relational, and it's sounding intentional. When you're able to do those three things, then it's easier for people to connect with you. That's why people listen to the podcast, the We Don't Play podcast show, and they connect and they stay. I'm not trying to tell you, hey, buy this, stay here. Oh yeah, we have this, that. If you're ready for something, great. Let's work. Let's make it happen. Let's teamwork, right? But if we're here to listen and learn and enjoy and have coffee or have a drink or enjoy the moment, great. Let's do that too because that conversation could lead to a connection that you probably wouldn't have experienced if you didn't start that way. you know Great conversations, big deals are made in the golf clubs, they're made at the restaurants, they're made at the hotels, they're made in rooms like this. So just be yourself. Don't use this pro feature and become a pro Clubhouse user. Start talking about 4.99 for courses on how to use Clubhouse because people start talking about those things and I see that, but I'm like, you know what, I can't knock your hustle. Everybody does what they got to do, but at some point the real will stand and be true. The ones who are not, sure sucks to be you. So it just depends on where you want to be on and how do you want to connect with the people that are on the platform. And I'm going to do this more intentionally because I feel like that has brought a lot of more connections in depth, and I'm able to also see, okay, this person actually wants to connect. How do they want to connect? It's up to me. It's up to you. So gone are the days of guessing, oh, somebody checked you out. Now you can actually see who did it and then connect with them. And some people may be even scared to reach out to you. So reach out to them if they come to you. It's like saying you come to my door and I don't answer the door. That's a missed opportunity because you didn't open the door to have a conversation. So somebody came to your door. Think about it like a clubhouse. Somebody came to your door in the club and they knocked on your door, but you probably didn't hear the knock or it was a soft knock because they didn't say anything. And they're like, oh, okay, let's see if he's going to respond. And then you do respond. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you responded, or I can't believe you reached out to me. Oh, I was thinking about you. Those moments happen. but they don't happen if you don't make it happen. So I would say try it out and, just enjoy it. And I feel like a lot of people are on the fence. That's the what do you call it? That's the mood I'm feeling, the energy I'm feeling. Why? Because I know that for an app to have been free for so long, for you to pay for it sounds like, what are we doing? That's what it could feel like into someone's mind. Why am I paying for something I've been doing for free for long? I feel like this is going to switch it up a little bit better and a little bit more, because now if you're paying for something to be on, the same way people pay what, $69 a month to be on LinkedIn Premium, and you can't pay $50 a year to be on Clubhouse, where on LinkedIn you have to really like go hard, but here you can speak and really connect with people that intentionally want to be on the same stage or the same place with you, and then you connect on LinkedIn. That's a better approach than you trying to fight for LinkedIn space. It just doesn't make sense. Hey Juliana, how you finding the app
Yes.
so far?
Sorry, I'm late to the party.
No worries. How you finding the app so far?
Listen, I used the links to the max until it told me you can no longer post any more links. So I'm excited. I've posted all my YouTube links to some important videos that I think. I posted my free community that I have outside of every other social media. It's a private community, everything, like every link I could think of. So to me, $5 for what this app has done for me to make, like I said yesterday, it's allowed me to put a face and a voice to taxes and really demystify and make people comfortable with the IRS. If I die tomorrow, I'll be happy because I've accomplished that. A lot of people filing their taxes on time, and I get emails and texts. Because of you, I filed my taxes on time for the first time. That is priceless, in my opinion. So I'm happy to pay the $5.
Thank you, Juliana. Yeah, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And where you focus on grows. And you're right. I've seen your links too. I love that you have your YouTube links there. People can just watch your YouTube videos right from here. It's perfect. It's just a way of being intentional with what you want people to see. And I would feel like it's like a dating profile. You know how you add all your things, your hobbies, all these things you put on there, and then somebody now swipes or accepts, how things are done. It's like it's the same thing, but it's done now in a different way. How you doing it professionally, how you doing it, and connecting the dots. And if you're doing this to really make it work, then you can track those things. And how you know what's happening or what's really gaining traffic is when you start realizing that people start hitting you up or checking out the links that you put. Because if you really put in your links correctly and you're here on the app and people are connecting with you daily or weekly, then definitely you're going to start seeing some results, because you start getting hits on your website, you start getting hits on your social account, you start getting hits in your email subscription list. People start subscribing just because you have something to offer. And when you start realizing that these things are paying off, then you're able to really understand, okay, where are we going to be in the next 5 to let's say 11, 12 months from now. So I'm seeing this as a big win for Clubhouse, especially it's a delayed win, but it's still a win. A win is still a win. And they've won because they have shown that they care about creators, and they actually care about the time that creators spend on the platform. So if they're going to bring in data so that I can see analytics of what's going on and not just who saw their profile, and do more than that, yes, I have a good feeling that people will they're going to get some feedback for sure, and see that I've built apps, with marketing teams, and seen how they grow, and I've seen it from the back end to the front end to the coding. I've seen them, and I know that this thing works. You just have to work the program and work it out the way you want it to work for you. So if you create rooms and do rooms well, the right people will find you. You know, I didn't think I was going to do this room twice, but I felt like if people want it twice, then why not give it to them twice, so that you have more information to listen to. When you watch a 5-part series, by the time you're on part 5, you know the story, you know the formula, you know the plot, you know the characters, you know the end from the beginning, and you'll definitely know what to do after. You know, behind the scenes, you know the red carpet, like you know everything, the ins and outs of everything. So this is what Clubhouse is bringing to us, and I'm very sure that with what we have going on, it's going to be a beautiful experience for those who use it well. And if you use it correctly, is going to be well with you. And let me say this too. If you have a pro feature account and you're not using your website, I've been doing this for 5 years, so I'm just saying this now. So if you've not done this, please try this out. If you do rooms on Clubhouse, if you have a room on Clubhouse and you are connecting people intentionally on this platform, what's up, Cackles? It's been a minute. Glad to have you here. When you create a Clubhouse room and you leave the room and the room closes and you have the replay, please do this. Especially if that room was a topic of discussion that is going to help your community through email, through social. This is something to think about. Write an article or a summary. At the very least, create a LinkedIn newsletter about it, because you want the information to really resonate with the person that is listening to you. And it works. Like for me, whenever I release a podcast, I go on LinkedIn first, because that's where I know people are going to connect from LinkedIn. It goes everywhere else, because I know that there are 3 types of signals, right? There's user signal, there's domain signal, and there's social signal. Those 3 signals cannot be ignored if you want to scale in 2025 across ChatGPT, AI, whatever platform it is, traditional. You want to be able to have that consistently: your user signal, your domain signal, and your social signal. Why? Because when you have a user signal, user equals people. The 5 users equals 5 impressions. 10 users, 10 impressions, right? If I have 100 people that viewed my profile, that's 100 impressions, right? Those 100 impressions, if you think about the industry standard average of a click-through rate in across all industries, is 2.2%. Across all industries, click-through rate is 2.2%. So if you're thinking about conversions, if you think about all these things, if you hit that 2.2%, you're in the green zone. If you go above it, you're way above the green zone. If you go below it, then somewhere we have to figure out how to get you out of the red zone. So the goal is to be above or between those numbers. And how do you do that? Especially when you have rooms on Clubhouse. The rooms on Clubhouse are topics that you see that people like. If people are in a room and they're in the room because of the topic, that means the topic was relevant to the user. Let's start there. So if it's a user signal, that means the user has been, how do I say this? The user has been approved, because the user signal has said that you like this, I like this, you like apples, I like apples, let's connect, right? That's because of the affinity, right? Because user signals equals affinity. So the higher you are in affinity, the higher you are in relationship, right? Yes, I do training on SEO. Actually, let me put a link here so that you can get this link right now, because this is something that I have been doing for a while now, and I've just said that, hey, I mean, if you want to learn it, by all means, I will teach you. It's available. I've actually created a whole training on this, to the point where you got to trademark your stuff. Like, it's that deep. Like, we are not joking around here, because if you're serious like I am, I would definitely love to do that. So yes, Sharon, please click the link above, and that's going to give you access to the waitlist, and then you can get on a call. And anyone else who's seriously thinking about this, please click the link above. And if you're thinking about Clubhouse and using it as a thought leader, you're technically running a podcast show. The only difference is that you're not, and I see Anna as well waving. Just wanted to say that you're not on Clubhouse for audio, just audio. Yes, it's social audio, but it's broadcast, right? Podcast is broadcast. Let me just say it this way. And it was said very well earlier. Steve Jobs says this back in '05, right? iPod plus broadcast equals podcast. So when circa 2025, right, we're thinking about social audio, SEO is going to turn into thought leadership. And in 2026, let me say this now because I've been saying it before and I'll say it again. In 2026, SEO is no longer, it's not just going to be blogs. Yeah, blogs rule great, but it's going to be a multimedia format of text, audio, and video. So if you have a podcast in 2025 as a thought leader, as a business owner, whether you're going to run the show and talk on the show, or you're going to have guests to talk on the show for you, or you're going to now create it as a show that you can now have people on there as guests or co-hosts. However you want to do it, as a business owner, it's very important for you to have your business showing up there, because the last thing you want to do is to spend so much time and not track your progress especially when it comes to podcasting and SEO and all these things, because when you think about your titles, they have to be really done well. Really done well. And I'm going to be sending a case study of my podcast. My podcast right now is in the top 83,000 out of 4.5 million, and you track it every day. So listen notes will give you the number, and they change their updates every month, so they usually work within their quota. But when you use a platform called Pod SEO, it will tell you your daily ranking. And I've been going up the rank. I literally, at the beginning of May, I was at 300,000. I was bordering 100,000, and then I dipped to 300,000. I was like, what's going on here? So I said, you know what? This is going to be a testing ground. And I did it. And now we're at 83,000 at the end of May, and I'm still tweaking. There's still a lot of things I'm tweaking. So as I'm tweaking, I'm showing you what I'm tweaking. So if you want to save 6 years of guessing podcast wise and really do this the right way and really track your insights, track your keywords, track your topics. It's such a beautiful thing to track topics and see that, oh, I want to talk about this and I can actually rank for this in these number of days. What I've realized on podcast, there's a lifespan of about 10 weeks, right? 10 weeks. Usually I mean, 24 hours to 4 weeks is perfect. But when you think about the extended lifespan of a podcast, it's about 10 weeks, which makes sense. There are 52 weeks in a year. So if you do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 2, and then bundle it up, right? Think about like sticks. You know how you used to count with sticks: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you cross it out, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, you cross it out again, 5. Think about that kind of picture, right? And do it for 50 times. So when you have 5 rounds, thank you so much for being here, Stefan. Appreciate you. When you have those sticks, right? Those sticks or stones, however you want to call them, that's your asset. That's going to be what you're going to use to determine how fast or how well it's going to be. So if I know that I have 5 cycles of 10 weeks each in a year, and those maybe 2 weeks are maybe a hiatus or a recess or whatever you want to call it, an intermission, you can have those 2 weeks off, right? But the 50 weeks in the year, out of the 52 weeks in the year, you have 10 weeks each, meaning that in 10 weeks, you're covering topics about your business. Trust me, with your podcast, if you do it correctly, from the file name of your MP3 to the file name of your cover art to the file name of your podcast to the title of your podcast to the length of your podcast, the density of your podcast, and then you're able to sequence them and put links in them, you're going to go so far, because guess what? There are 4.5 million podcasts in the world, and about 16% of them are active. So if 16% of podcasts are active, and there are over 538 million podcast listeners in the world, that may not be a lot of people, but that's a lot of people to connect with if you really know who you're connecting with. So imagine 16% of the 4.5 million, right? That's global. Now, break that down from global to national to regional to district or zip code, or however you want to break it down. That's a long list to look at. So if you are in the 1% of the 16%, and in your industry, because podcast has industries, there are different categories. You could be in finance, you could be in real estate, you could be in entrepreneurship, you could be in sports, health, you could be anywhere you want to be. But if you're in those categories, then you're in those categories to compete and also to connect. So when you think about your arsenal, which is your podcast, everything starts from the ground up. Even your website. If you have a podcast, you need a website. You can't just have a podcast without a website, because where are you sending them to after they listen to you, and how you tracking what they're listening to if you're not tracking it through a website. So the goal is your website is your first party data intellectual property asset that you use to connect to people who want to connect back to you. So if you're doing this, connecting the dots over and over again, people will want to connect back with you, not because they're trying to look for a solution or trying to find a problem in the problem, but they're trying to figure out, okay, how can I save my time, my money, and my energy? And I've been guessing podcasting for a long time until I said, you know, it's time to stop guessing. And I started taking it very seriously. I started podcasting August 12th, 2019. I started officially on Clubhouse November 24th, 2020. Today is May 28th, 2025. And right now, my podcast, We Don't Play, is streamed across 145 countries. We're about to hit season 11, and we've crossed over 500 episodes. We're in our 11th season that we're going into. And a huge bunch of it is because of podcasting and also being here on Clubhouse. So when I see the connections that have been made off the app, on the website, off the website, it's just consistency. Like there's no magic I did. It's just consistency. Is That's the key. Go to talk to any popular person out there that has, what's your key to success? You will always hear it's consistency, but guess what? That consistency is costly. It's a very high cost, because for someone to do the same thing consistently and not see results is patient, but is very abundant, because when the abundance falls and the rain falls and it pours, you have enough buckets, because you've been working through the signs, you've been working through the attic, you've been working through the balcony, you've been working through the basement. So it's up to you to realize how you're going to do this as well. So I really appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And, love to see that. Billy, Stefan, Valerie, thank you so much again, Sharon. And yes, sincerity, thank you, Juliana. Consistency definitely lies in the power, and Tisha. That's how I've seen it. If I was not on this app, you guys would probably be like, yeah, Favor is going to be gone in the next week. He's not coming back. He's just going to do one room, and you won't see him again till it's Christmas or Black Friday when he has a sale. Never. You will never hear that from me. I'm on this app. Last year, I did over 200 rooms last year with no Clubhouse Plus. So, plus or no plus, plus or minus, I'm still going to be here to make sure that I can connect with people and be real as I've always been. Because, yeah, Nisha says you've been hot, consistent like a hot iron. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's a great thing to see and connect with people, because one day you just never know. Just be yourself. You know how they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? That's what happens on Clubhouse every day. Who knew Joe would be here from Clubhouse? He's never been in my room. And today is the first time it's happening. I'm grateful for that. You just don't know. So imagine if I just said, yeah, nobody's going to join this room. You know how many times we talk to ourselves in our heads every day? About what? Close to 70,000 thoughts we have in our heads every day. It doesn't sound like 70,000, that's a lot of thoughts. But how many do we implement every day? We are so much in our thoughts that we're so much in our head that we can't even get out of our heads to connect to the people who said what they're saying, or trying to even hear what they're saying, because we're so much in our own head listening to what we're saying. So I believe this is a time to really come out of of that zone of not genius and do something different with your time. Yes, Juliana.
So, talking about doing rooms without people showing up, let me tell you something. People hate accounting so much that I've been told privately, it's like, Juliana, nobody wants to talk to you because we don't want to do our taxes. We don't want to hear taxes. We want nothing to do with you. So I have to be honest. Sometimes I go to my club, I do the rooms with nobody there. I just record it and leave it because I scheduled to do the room and I'm gonna show up. Whether anybody show up or not, I just put the recording there. But what I found out a few hours later, people will be going there and listening to the replays. So even if nobody shows up, just do the 10, 15 minute recording, whatever you came there to say it and off to the races because you've done your job. Like you said, consistency. And that's how I ended up with over 200 episodes in my club. But half the time I get one or two people. I don't care how many people show up. Zero people, one people. I just put the information and I'm gone. So anybody listening, create a house, invite people, put your knowledge out there. You never know who needs to hear what you have to say. So keep on going.
Thank you, Juliana. It's refreshing, honestly, to do something like this at this capacity and enjoy it, you know. And I think it's also a mindset thing because some people come to Clubhouse and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get 5 sales this week. I'm gonna get 5 this," and I'm wondering, what about the information you were supposed to give first, or what about the topic that you're supposed to cover so that they understand who you even are in the first place for them to consider you as a person of even interest in the first place. So it's about pull marketing, and if you're able to do it correctly and show people the way, I mean, when you show someone the way, you earn trust. You're like, okay, I trust this person enough for him to guide me or for her to guide me, because if I'm getting advice from you, then it means I trust you with the advice. If I don't trust your advice, I'm not going to be in the room. So that's the same thing that applies to what you do out here. So I've seen it work hundreds of times when I'm like, hey, let's talk, let's connect. We connect, and then something magical happens. We connect, we meet again later on in life. Great. You know, it's not lost, it's a gain because you've learned something new. You've been able to acquire some new information. And the more information you acquire, the better it is for you. So I've seen Clubhouse do amazing things, and I feel like they're going to do a lot of amazing things too. And I'm here for the ride. So definitely, if I see Dr. Fashion with a plus sign, I'll be like, yes, I think my marketing is on point, because Dr. Fashion is a hard one. You have to know what you're saying before she says yes, because if she says yes, then yeah, you definitely did a good thing. Right, Dr. Fashion, or am I lying? Tell me if I'm lying.
No lies told. You are hilarious.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that feedback. Yeah, Tiff says that's fair. Yep, you need to give to get in life. It's true. Tiff says, why do you do this? You don't get any money this way. Is this correct? I asked to get beyond my own fears. Oh, I'm so glad I did not miss this message, Tiff. So this is what I'll say. You know, like Juliana said, you need to give to get in life. If you can't give the simple thing we have in life, which is the most precious thing we have in life, time, time, right? If we can't use that time wisely, then how is somebody going to pay you for your time? I mean, how does that work? So why I do this so passionately for hours is not because, oh, I'm waiting for someone to raise their hand. It's because I know I'm pouring out of a place that I know someone's going to pour into or get from at one point in time, because it's going to click. Some people tell me a year later, oh yeah, it finally clicked a year later. I'm like, thank God it clicked, because it's supposed to. It may not click today, but it will click someday. And some people don't even know what's going on because that's not their industry. So it has to really resonate with you and say, okay, I want to talk to people and share what I know. And then you can even do it this way. Tell them what, where, why, who, when. Give them all the W's. The H, the how, that's what they got to pay for. So you can give away all the definitions, all the dictionary, thesaurus, encyclopedia, atlas, give them everything. Let them be aware of what you're talking about. Then when it's time to have a strategy or talk about conversions or talk about results, then that's where you become very specific in how you deliver. So please don't gatekeep things that you should be giving, because the very thing that you're giving could be the one thing that you need to receive. So that's one thing I've just grown up like that with contentment. Just give. If you don't have, you don't have. If you have, you have. Like don't kill yourself. Don't sleep well. Sleep peacefully. Like wake up happy. Don't go crazy. So don't also beat yourself up at the same time. So if it's not time, it's not time. When it's time, it will be time, and you'll feel it. You'll know. So I would say the best way to start is be on the Clubhouse, create a house, start doing rooms. If no one joins, don't care about that. Care about who's listening when they listen. Because if they listen and they actually listen to what you're saying, then they'll stay. If they listen and they leave, then that's why they were not even there. So just test it out and see how that goes. Will definitely do you a great deal. Definitely the replays are on so you can listen to this as well. Juliana says, think of running Google ads. How many times people clicking before someone buy it? It's a lot. It's a lot. And thank you, Sharon, for following the podcast. I really appreciate you. Yes, titles is what I love to binge on, because, these titles, these keywords, these are the very same things. You're welcome, Tiff. These are the very same things that people use to find you online. Dr. Fashion did a chat GPT prompt today. That's a word, that's a keyword. She asked a question very specifically. So if you ask ChatGPT a question today, tomorrow, the next day, and ask Perplexity or ask Harper or ask whoever, and you're getting a response, that response is because it was put somewhere on the map. And you can also be on that map too, because not everybody, if you really think people are online, they're really not. Just think about it. If you're the first to do it, someone else is going to do it because you were the first. If you didn't do it, they would probably never have done it, or probably would never do it. So this is that chance for you to shine and say, yeah, I have a website. I don't know what's going on. I need help. What can we do? Let's fix it. Right. And when we fix the problem and we see the solution, you're like, oh, okay, now I can do this less. I can do this less. I can do this less. It makes so much sense. I had a meeting with a client today, and she does bariatric surgery, and she's based in California. From today's May 28th, from April 28th, she had zero. There was zero. I mean, they have a brick and mortar, they're doing well in business, but they were not connected, they were not on the server. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, last week they had 10,000 impressions, organic. They've not spent a dollar on ads. Today I showed her the graph. We jumped from 10K on average in a week to 50K on average in a week. And we've only worked together for a month. We're not even posting social media content, and she's getting calls and rings and all these things. So why am I saying this? Because I'm plugging to a source file that is active. Google is active. Google, people are searching right now as we speak. You know the number of searches that have happened this hour we've been here? A lot. So if you end up as a search result and you're showing up for the people who want your result, then Google ChatGPT is going to result your page to their site because they're looking at it based on their location. Google me, baby. Exactly, Valerie. You have to think about these things. So you just have to do it. And I always surprise myself sometimes, because SEO is always, I always learn things. Like, I don't know all the SEO stuff, but the much I know, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going, because you never stop learning SEO. Like the SEO I knew last week is not the SEO I know this week. There's something I knew this last Friday, that I never knew, that is like a boost. Like, this is going to start bringing millions. If you have a WordPress website, this is going to start bringing you millions of impressions. And it's a Google product, which I never knew, which I'm like, oh, it's free. Oh, you can do it. Oh, okay, cool. And at the same time, it's not just going to be there and you plug and play it. You have to work it. And if you've been working it before, It's going to be easy for you to even work it better. If you have a Squarespace, if you have a Wix, if you have, do that, those things can also happen too. I'm still trying to figure out, okay, how does this work for this platform, if you're not on this platform? So you keep learning these things because you keep growing. I'm just going to keep saying, yeah, I know this, I know that, I don't know this, I don't know that, but when I know this, I'll know better. And if you don't know it, now you know. So it's always a learning curve. And I don't feel like I know everything in SEO, even though there's a lot I know, but it doesn't mean that I know everything. Because the more I'm able to understand some things, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Like you go to school and you graduate, but you still don't know things. You still have to get a license. You still have to get a degree. You still have to get a certificate. You still have to go through training. Like it never stops. So don't think you graduated and that's it. You just know that you've just taken a whole new level of life that's about to hit you with a whole goodie bag. So it's up to you to see how you want to do it as a business and know exactly what you want to do. Juliana, I love that you said this too as well. Thank you about the skills. Go
I
ahead.
was laughing. I was laughing about the school. Listen, when you go to school, they teach you how to learn. It's not about what you're going to do in real life. If we have any students in the crowd, do not fear, do not worry. Whatever you're learning in school is equipping you to get the work done, and how to you go to college or wherever you go, you go to learn how to learn, if that makes sense. So if you get a job and you don't have an experience, I hire students all the time. I have a lot of interns and I have new graduates. And I tell them straight up, I say, listen, if I tell you to do something and you don't know how to do it, don't be scared to tell me you don't know. Because I'm not expecting you to know how I run my CPA firm. So is the same for every industry. Every company runs their systems differently. So you never finish learning, always reading. I got ton of books by my bedside. I read a lot of books. You never know everything. So keep learning.
Thank you, Juliana. Yeah, when you stop learning, you stop growing because growing is inevitable. I think there's a saying that goes that says, what does it say? Mm, I don't want to butcher it, but it's about age and growth, right? Your age, I mean, yeah, I got it. Growing up is optional, right? But growing is inevitable. It's like you can't ignore it. Like you are not like right now we've been in this room, you're probably an hour old. I'm an hour older than I was an hour ago. So we keep growing. So if we have to regenerate our bodies, regenerate our minds, rejuvenate things that we're also doing, it has to make a huge lot of sense. Valerie said, I told my sisters, Google me and screenshot me what you see. It was so fun to see progress consistently shows results. Yes, yes, yes. I love to see that. As Nisha says, so true. They teach you how to learn. And I'm a nurse. I learned a lot when I got my first job and continue to learn. Yep, that is true. I love that we're learning because I don't know, people who don't find learning fun, they're not fun people. I don't know how else to say this, but if you're learning something new, you know how much excited you are to learn about a new topic. Oh my goodness, yeah, let me try this out. Oh yeah, let me keep. You're gonna mess up, but you're gonna enjoy the mess up because through the process, you'll enjoy that. Okay, I had to go through this twice to know how to do this once. So, I mean, Isaac Newton didn't do things once to get light once. So if he could do it enough times to get what we're enjoying, then we can definitely do a lot more with what we have. So I think it's good to learn these things and put this into perspective. So for those who are here, right? Can we reset the room? We're about to reset and actually end the room too. But I'm so glad you said this, Albert, and it was just perfect, perfect, perfect timing. If you've not been here and you're listening for the first time or listening or trying to catch up, we have been talking about Clubhouse Plus, $4.99 a month, $4.99 a month, or $49.99 a year, which is $49.99 a year. Are you joining or not? Why? The reason is because there are four features. Four features. One feature is anonymous. You can walk in anonymously. Second feature is that you can add up to 8 links. And I think you might even do more. I don't know, but eight is the is the number at the very least that you can add links here. You can also add multiple images. So like if you hit on my face, you can see my picture. You can swipe, you'll see the old picture of my Clubhouse profile. You can add a good number of them on that section. And then fourth, which I think everybody is excited about, is profile views. Just like you can see on LinkedIn profile views, how many people viewed your profile. You can do the same thing here on Clubhouse. And yeah, maximum is 8 links. Yeah, it is 8 links. I just wanted to make sure I heard correctly. So you have profile views, just like with LinkedIn. And if you want to know your impression rate, which I created a formula today in this room, is look at the number of people who have viewed you this week and then divide that number by the total number of friends times 100. That'll give you the percentage of your impression rate so that you get to know who you actually connect with. So if you have 130 people that have seen your profile and you connect to 130 people on your DM, then you can do the math and see how that connection turns into something else. And then from there, you build your friendships. So you never know what that could turn into. But I hope this helped you and gave you some insight on the reset, Albert. Thank you so much for that prompt in as well. Yeah, that's my TED talk today. So if you get the app on Plus. If you don't get the app on Plus, you can still enjoy Clubhouse, but I feel like if you try it out for 7 days, a lot of good things will happen to your account. Dr. Fashion, would you like to say anything before we go? And I'll pass it to you, Juliana, as well.
No, just great room. Thank you for hosting and filling us in with all the great insight around the subscription. I'm pretty sure we were able to get, not even we, it was you did it. You was able to get some people to sign up, right? And it doesn't hurt because it is a 7-day free trial. And I think the price point is solid. So thank you for opening up the space and also your article. I remember at a time where Clubhouse used to do articles and release newsletters. They stopped doing that a long time ago. So thank you for all the insight. So, yeah.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Love to hear that. Thank you so much for joining the room today. Juliana, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, so I see that you repurposed the room from yesterday on LinkedIn, and I'm gonna have to pick your brain to find out how, because I'm still having challenges repurposing the video. Before we used to be able to even do it on Facebook, but now they've messed it up. So I'm gonna have to tap your brain for that. And to everybody else, I'm always talking numbers. I'm a CPA. I do taxes. There's a second quarter estimate coming up June 15. If you are self-employed with income where no taxes is being taken out, please take this advice. Go and to my website, find out how you can do your quarterly estimate, or go to irs.gov. They have some calculators there. Make sure that you get that estimate in to avoid penalties, because some states are even penalizing you 10% if you don't pay your quarterly estimate. So I've just saved you some thousands, depends on how much you make. You can thank me later. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Juliana. Love to hear that. It's business here, so it's very important to know these things so we're not caught off guard. So thank you so much for that very insightful feedback. I appreciate that. Albert, you have the last question, and I want to make sure I answer every question in the room. So, how do you sign up? That's a big question. How you sign up is by, okay, let me say it this way. Because you're in the room, it means you've not updated your app. So, when you go to your app store, you will see an update option. And then when you come back into Clubhouse, you'll automatically see the option to opt in to Clubhouse Plus. So it's not like you go to the App Store and you type in Clubhouse Plus, because that's what I did. That's what, I'll be honest. I typed in Clubhouse Plus and I was like, it's not here. So I now saw, oh, you got to update the Clubhouse app, and then you see the Clubhouse Plus show up as like the first welcome screen, and then you can decide what plan you want, whether you want monthly or annually. But you get a 7-day free trial, and then if you're on Apple, it's going to do the whole Apple Pay subscription. If you're on Samsung or Android, I'm sure it should do Google Pay or Samsung Pay. So either way, you're connected to your subscription list. So I hope that helped, and you can try it out as well. So this app is definitely going to be a great place to be. So appreciate you, Dr. Fashion, Juliana, No Carbs, Sharon, Anisha, Tim, Sack Black, Albert, MS, Tiff, and also Writer Girl Karma. Appreciate you for being here. Definitely, I don't think there's a need for a part three. Listen to the Clubhouse Town Hall tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific. If you're available, that is 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Eastern. And for those who are listening, I'm based in Houston, Texas. And if you're here, let's connect. If you fly in here, let me know. Let's connect, let's grow, and let's make sure that everybody knows who you are. You can be seen, you can be heard, you can be remembered because of the impact that you create for the world that you live in, because of the things that you do for the people that you love. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, day, wherever you are in the world. It's an international app. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. For those who have connected, I'll see you very soon. For those who will connect, I'll see you again soon. Take care, and I'm going to see you guys in the Clubhouse streets.